all about me and my husband, Stephen. We had goals like going to Japan. But after our daughter Addie was born, our focus shifted to making sure one tiny human who weighed less than a Thanksgiving turkey stayed alive. A ball of energy with untamable brown hair and dark brown eyes, Addie was funny, sweet, and stubborn. By the time she was 2, we felt like we could finally take a breath. She could entertain herself for about 30 minutes at a time and seemed far less determined to kill herself by pulling a heavy object on her head. Addie was on track, Stephen and I less so. I was working overtime often, making extra daddy duty for Stephen. Meanwhile, at his job, close friends had quit, and his company's structure was changing. The ground was shifting under Stephen's feet. Stress joined our marriage. Instead of joking like we used to, we would watch TV in silence and go straight to bed. Stephen complained, "We never get to spend time together. I just want us to hang out as a family like we used to." Realizing his birthday was soon, I decided to make his dreams come true. A family day full of activities, topped off with a homemade birthday cake. The Thursday night before his big day, Stephen was off playing Dungeons and Dragons. And Addie and I snuck off to Kroger. Now, Stephen is the gourmet in our family and would undoubtedly make a cake from scratch. But the only thing I can cook is grilled cheese sandwiches and canned tomato soup. I was stretching my culinary ability with a box. But I was optimistic. Baking would provide Addie and I with some much-needed bonding time. As I put the mix for Stephen's favorite lemon in the cart, Addie disagreed with my choice. "Daddy wants pink cake, Mommy." Pink also happens to be Addie's favorite color. Coincidence? Probably not, but her insistence and curly brown bangs were rather adorable. "Okay, honey, a strawberry cake." I picked one that came with its own cream cheese frosting and its own pan. No reason to risk too much. As I picked out the leisure spell old fart, because Stephen's the ripe old age of 32, Addie voiced another opinion. "Daddy wants pink on his pink cake, Mommy." She was pointing to a bag of bubblegum-flavored candies that resembled pink BBs. Bubblegum candy on top of his strawberry cake? Aha! Well, okay then. I seized the opportunity while Stephen was out to bake the cake. I tied on Addie's orange-flowered apron and imagined our little bake-off was going to be like a Betty Crocker commercial. Slightly messy, but fun and picture-perfect. They probably don't film those commercials several hours past a toddler's bedtime. First, Addie wanted to eat all the ingredients. "I like eggs. I can try now?" "No, honey, that egg is raw." Next, she banged the butter cake pan on the cat hair-infested floor. "Drum, Mommy, drum." Then she poured a whole measuring cup of soapy water on the tile. "Mommy, I do the dishes." Our finished cake didn't resemble the picture on the box at all. Cream cheese frosting was thick and globbed entirely on top. The sides were naked. And the bubblegum candy was scattered helter-skelter across the top. Saturday was the big day. Addie and I were going to take Stephen out to breakfast, then a movie, followed by Stephen's favorite barbecue joint and our neon pink, semi-naked cake. I was praying for no cat hair. Breakfast at Chick-fil-A started out great. Addie ate quickly and then dashed off to the playground. Then, just as Stephen and I were settling into some much-missed conversation, a little boy wandered up. "I saw your baby's butt." I rushed into the play area to hear Addie calling my name from the very tippity top. "Mommy, I peed my pants." Looking to see if the other parents were rolling their eyes, I stood next to the twirly slide and talked my half-naked daughter down like an embarrassed police negotiator. So much for Act 1 of my perfect birthday plan. After nap time, we were ready to see the movie. Since there were talking animals, I thought Addie would be way into it. But once we sat down, Addie was the one who began to talk. "Mommy, more popcorn. You just ate a whole bag." "Who's that?" "Someone who'd like to enjoy their movie." "Look, candy. Please, please don't eat candy off the floor." Headed for a barbecue, I was unusually quiet. I just wanted to deliver Stephen a fun, family-filled day, but everything had turned to chaos. "Are you all right?" Stephen asked, concerned. "Fine," I mumbled, convincingly, I'm sure. Minutes later, I swung open the door to what was surely the busiest and loudest restaurant in Garland. What's going to go wrong next, I wondered, foil-wrapped cake in hand. There was one open table, but as soon as we sat down, a live musician set up an electric keyboard right next to us. In minutes, he was singing 80s pop songs. Think Living on a Prayer, elevator edition. "Can we just eat and go home?" I muttered, feeling defeated. But in that moment, Stephen reminded me of why I married him. "Sure," he said, "but first, can we look at this cake? I've been waiting all day." Addie's eyes started to light up, and Stephen acted perfectly surprised as he peeled back the foil as if inside there would be a treasure. In truth, the cake looked worse than I remembered. "Addie, did you make me this cake?" he asked. Addie's eyes grew wide. "Aha, I did make this cake. It looks delicious. I can't wait to eat it." My heart melted. This is what I had really wanted. A genuine moment with family and a memory we could all share. No matter what I planned, I couldn't force a moment like this. Addie beaming as she gave Daddy something she had made with her own hands, and Daddy graciously accepting. On the way home, full of barbecue and sweet dessert, I looked in the rearview mirror and thought, one day, I'll tell Addie about the time she made her daddy strawberry cake with cream cheese frosting and bubblegum decorations, and how she peed on the playground, and talk through the movie, and we will all laugh. And just like she was reading my thoughts, Addie smiled at me in the rearview mirror. Then she threw up strawberry cake. All over the backseat of Daddy's car.